We all know that breast milk is the best choice for feeding a baby. But sometimes mothers experience personal or societal barriers to breastfeeding. Mothers benefit from a broad network of support to help them initiate and continue breastfeeding. The Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, or WIC, is dedicated to helping mothers breastfeed.
Getting started breastfeeding in the hospital, there's a lot of support. What happens when these mothers go home? They're tired, they're worried. So the mothers need a whole network of support.
The WIC program is absolutely a key player in increasing breastfeeding rates and for a number of reasons. A lot of folks just don't know about the benefits of breastfeeding. When they deal with the WIC program with regard to nutritional education, it is at that time that you can start talking about other public health interventions such as breastfeeding as well as healthcare in general.
The amount of breastfeeding support that the WIC program would provide is really a wonderful resource to the healthcare community and healthcare professionals.
If you look at our challenges in increasing breastfeeding rates, if we're going to achieve the Healthy People 2010 goals, it's going to be done because of the efforts of people in WIC. Because half of the babies that are born in America every year are covered by WIC services. WIC is probably one of the greatest advocates for breastfeeding and is one of the organizations that's best positioned to impact the infant feeding decisions that mothers make.
It's very important for healthcare providers to understand that WIC is a breastfeeding support program. And it's really important that we all partner together to help moms that have decided to breastfeed so that they can get the proper support.
One of WIC's goals is to establish breastfeeding as the norm for infant feeding. WIC provides multiple resources to encourage and support breastfeeding, including enhanced food packages, educational materials, breast pumps, as well as classes and peer counseling.
When I came into WIC to pick up my regular vouchers, milk and eggs and things like that, they had told me if I wanted to do a breastfeeding class. I was actually interested, so I went in and Miss Amy had already started a class and she was telling us about how I should keep up my vitamins and how to breastfeed. And after hearing that stuff, I was sure I wanted to breastfeed my baby.
Well, I've always known about WIC, and so when I got pregnant, I went to WIC to get the assistance that I could, and they immediately put you in a breastfeeding class.
I witness women coming in that they might come in and they'll have their arms crossed and they don't want to breastfeed and they say, oh no, this is not for me. And then we begin the classes, and very shortly after they start to learn a little bit about the benefits. They hear from other moms who have breastfed. They hear about the bonding that comes with breastfeeding with their baby, and even if they haven't breastfed children in the past, they might leave that class and desire to breastfeed that baby.
WIC's peer counseling is one of its most helpful programs. Counselors come from backgrounds similar to those of WIC participants and have successfully breastfed their own babies. They make phone calls and home visits outside of regular WIC clinic hours, often when such support is most needed.
As a physician, when I talk to a mother, there are many barriers. I'm older, I'm more educated, I'm not from the neighborhood where she's from. A lot of women feel that I'm going to judge them. So there's only so much breastfeeding advice that I can give. The mother's just going to say, she doesn't know me, I can't listen to her. The peer counselor breaks through those barriers.
What I talk about with my moms to be able to overcome their barriers is my personal experience, to explain to them how I was able to continue breastfeeding and going back to work and exclusively breastfeeding my son.
I know that without the support of my husband and Amy, my peer counselor, I recognize that it would be much more difficult for me to continue breastfeeding.
Initially, there was a problem with getting Marcus to latch, but we had a peer counselor who came to the hospital while she was still recuperating. I think that was a great benefit.
And so with WIC being there, it just helped to push us along and help us kind of stay the course as far as breastfeeding is concerned.
WIC offers much more than encouragement to breastfeed. WIC partners with healthcare providers to offer a team approach to breastfeeding support. A key component of this effort is ensuring that women and babies receive proper nutrition, and WIC works to do that from the very beginning of a pregnancy.
I think as healthcare professionals, we all really have our patients' best interest in mind. So being able to refer their moms who qualify for WIC to a WIC program who supports breastfeeding and supports good nutrition, I think is really a valuable resource.
WIC's goal is the same as yours, to help every woman breastfeed her child. Achieving that goal will take a team effort, and WIC is ready to work with you.
Most physicians, pediatricians, we think about WIC as the place where moms get formula. And we forget, or we don't know, how much they have to offer. Education, nutrition classes, support, peer counseling. WIC is a tremendous resource.
We want to be able to give women consistent information, and here at WIC, we peer counselors would love the opportunity to work with doctors and nurses to help get that consistent information out there so that we can work together to help these women have positive breastfeeding relationships.
I think that WIC is a very helpful program, particularly in the breastfeeding, and it has such great people that work there, and the people there actually care.
When I have the privilege of being in a WIC office, of working with WIC moms, of seeing their breastfeeding successes, and more importantly, the pride that that success gives them, it gives me that sense of pride in what all of the people working in WIC have accomplished. We can all work together as a team to see that the end result is such healthy babies that we all benefit from.
To find out more about how you can work with WIC to support breastfeeding, visit our WIC website.